Welcome back, everyone. Very good morning to all present in the class. I hope I'm audible. Yes. Great. All right. So last class we had initiated the topic of RESTful services, and we have seen one basic application. Today happens to be the class 2 of RESTful services. The prerequisite to understand this better is Java, Spring Core, Spring Data JP, and Spring MVC fundamentals. If you have understood these things easily, you will not face any issue to understand the upcoming all the topics. Now, guys, as a developer, to convert any type of object to Java object, a JSON type of object to Java object, as a Java developer, do we need to put any extra efforts, add any libraries, write some code? Behind the scene, what is getting used, guys? JSON to Java object, Java object to JSON. It is none other than Jackson API. And do we need to add? No. Whenever you add the Spring MVC module, Spring Web module, a dependency into your project, automatically Jackson API will be included and you will be in a position to use it without any problem. Fine. Now let's try to use Jackson API for our normal Java projects. I'll not be using Spring projects. I'll not develop any REST APIs. A simple normal Maven project is what I would like to develop, wherein we'll try to understand about this Jackson project. Okay, I'll go here. I would like to say new, a Maven project. Name of the project, I'll give it as, I'll say next. Maybe I'll say com.telescope. I would like to say here Jackson API 1. Jackson API project 1. That's the meaning of it. Okay. This is the project name which I would like to give here. Done. I will say finish. No Spring, guys. It is basic project. Okay. Without any this thing. So I hope there is no issue here. Now, in order to use this, first of all, you all know by default the version which will be used here is 1.5. Whenever you create a normal project, it is Java 1.5. I may have to add the dependency. So let me first add the dependency which will increase the Java version size. That's the most important part here. I would like to go to any of this and add the dependency. Great. I would like to add this properties. I'll say pom.xml. Within this, I would like to add the property. I would like to save it. Right click, Maven, update. All right, guys. Now I need to add the Jackson API. If you add Spring Web dependency into your project, by default, Jackson API is added. And that is what I have showed in the yesterday's class. Today also we will see it. But right now, is it a Spring project? Did we add any Spring MVC module, guys? Did we have any Spring MVC module? No. So will Jackson API be added automatically in this regard? So for which I'll go back to my browser. I will just search. Okay. I'll go back and search here in the Maven repository, Jackson. Are you able to see this, guys? Jackson data bind. I would like to click this. And any of the latest version, I would like to take it. This is the latest. And I would like to just take it from here and add into my project. I would like to go here. And first of all, you have to add, I'll say dependencies. Within the dependencies, I would like to add it. I would like to save this. I would like to say Maven, update the project. I'll say okay. The moment you update the project, you can see if I open the JRE, after the JRE, we do also have, let me just add here. It is still adding. It is building. It is taking time to build. 28% is ready. Updating the Maven project, it is done. See Maven dependencies. All the Jackson is being added. Jackson data bind, Jackson annotations, Jackson core. So now in my normal Java project, see, I just want to show you that without you have to create the Spring, can you, if need arises in a simple Java project, use Jackson API. In the process to understand what is the significance of this Jackson. Yep. I'll go back here. Within this, I would like to create some package. I'll say here com dot telesco dot main, and maybe I'll create some model here. I would like to say com dot telesco dot model. What type of data you want to work with? I would like to create any type of data in that matter. It should not be a problem. I'll say here maybe alien. I would like to work with alien. As simple as that. It's normal Pojo, guys. It is not a Spring application. Just to reiterate, it is normal, simple Java application. Maven Java application where I'm just using the Jackson API explicitly. I'll say here private int is a type of ID. I will say private string type of name. I'll say private string type of city. How much ever properties you want, you can add. I would like to just go back here and have some constructors. Let me have constructor of using the fields, and I'll have two string methods, setters, getters, not. If you want, you can have it. Right now, since I'm going to use this, there is no future reference. Just for my purpose, I know what I need, so this much is sufficient. I would like to go back. I'll say new. I'll say here launch the application with the main method. I would like to say finish. Done. Okay. Any issues to anyone, guys, so far? All good? Yes, no? I'll create the alien object right now. I'll say alien type, or maybe you are getting from somewhere. I have an alien object wherein the ID is 1. The name is Rohit. The city is Mumbai. Okay, I would like to import this. Import it. Now, right now, this is a Java object. Whether as a developer, you are creating the Java object, or maybe someone is passing to you that Java object. You are creating or someone is passing to you. Either of the case. But you have a Java object here. If you have Java object, I just want to check, can I convert this Java object to the JSON format? Yes, you can do that, for which you have to use the Jackson API. Inside the Jackson API, we have something called as object mapper. You have to create the instance of object mapper. Using this object mapper class, you can convert. I'll say here new object mapper is the name of this class which will help us. I'll say here mapper is the reference variable name. If I have to create the local variable of it, let me just import it. I have imported. You can see, guys, all of this are coming from com.fasterxml.json. No, Jackson. So now object is ready. I will say here mapper dot write. Many methods are there within this. Write value as string. I would like to take up this method, and whatever alien object is there, I would like to pass it here. It's responsibility to convert that alien object into JSON format. I will say here JSON data now. Okay. So maybe checked exception guy. Checked exception guy, it's good to handle within the try and catch, but I would right now duck it, which is not recommended. But very fortunately, I have a job. It is not so important project, so it will not create any problem if I duck it. So I'll say here JSON. I would like to just go and run my application. If I run my application, oops, we are getting some error here. Invalid definition, no serialization found. To discover, create, to avoid, you have to serialize the object which you are implementing internally. So I would like to just say here implements serializable. Since it is demanding, I'm just writing it. Okay, serializable. I would like to import, and now let me just go and run and see if it is still creating a problem. I would like to say run as Java application. Again, the same problem, even if you have imported. No serialization found in the no properties discovered to be installed. To avoid the exception, disable serialization fall bean empty. Oh my goodness. Hmm. I wonder why this issues. Internally, maybe it is trying to call setters and getters just to convert. Let me just try to add that. It should not be a problem. It should something else. I was just trying to implement using the serialization. It is not accepting the serialization also. That is like you cannot do the serialize. That is also not being accepted here. So I would like to just check what could be the issue here. Or internally it is calling these setters. JSON processing exception. It is not getting that exception. Something else here. Write value as a string. Object mapper is what I'm using here. I would like to go back again. I'll say right click. Again, I will say run as the Java application. See, it is getting converted. So internally at the time of conversion, it is making call of getters to get the parameters which we have inside this object. Since it is calling the getters, it is not able to call the getters. We were getting that output. And after adding setters and getters, the problem is resolved. But however, are you getting this in the form of JSON, guys? Yes, no, maybe. I would like to print first in the form of alien normal Java object with the help of toString method. I would like to save this. I'll say right click, run as Java. You can see guys, it was in the normal Java object converted to JSON. In a simple Java application, can you convert your Java object into the JSON format? The answer is yes. It is very simple without any issue. What if we have multiple alien objects? What if this is the case? It's not just one. If we have multiple objects or multiple pojos, one data maybe. I would like to say two. I would like to say some three. Okay. I will say here. I will say here. Some data, guys. Data should not be a matter of concern. Some data. Okay. Save it. I would like to add this into my collection. Okay. There are many ways to create the collection. Multiple ways are there to create the collection. I would like to go with arrays dot as list. It's not recommended to create the collection in this style, but I'm creating. It should not be a problem also. Okay. One of the way to create the collection. If you not, you can just create manually the array list or linked list object, and you can create by using the add method. As you have learnt in your core Java, both of them are same, so it should not be a matter of concern. However you want, you can create your collection. These small things should not be a problem. So I'll say aliens right now, and I would like to create a local variable of it. It is done. All right. Again, I would like to give this, and let me comment this out. I would like to go back here. I will say here mapper dot write with default pretty printer. It is extra, guys. If you don't add this, there is no problem. you can just use the write value as method only, as string method only to convert this data. However, I'm invoking this default pretty printer just to print our data in a proper format. Okay, I'll say dot I'll say write value as, that is normal method as a string, and I would like to just specify aliens. Correction I would like to specify. Are you all there? Everyone in the class? Yes, no, maybe. I would like to get back here in the form of JSON. Whatever it will return me, I would like to just print. Save this. I'll say right click, run as Java. Guys, are we getting the data in the form of JSON? Proper JSON format, JavaScript object notation? The answer is yes. So as a Java developer, everyone knows how to convert a Java object to the JSON format manually by using the Jackson API. If someone asks, are you aware of Jackson API? Do you know how to work with Jackson API? Is it something rocket science to work with the Jackson API, guys? I hope no, it's not a rocket science. Yep. Any issues? I will share the dependency. You can get directly from the Maven repository also, irrespective of me sharing or not. But I will share. You can see here. You can go to the Jackson. You can just search Jackson in your Maven MVN repository. First one, Jackson data bind. Use the latest available version, which is released in September 2007, 27 September 2024. Add this dependency, you'll be in a position to use it. Any issues, guys, to anyone in the class? Anyone has any issues? Do let me know. So right now, how to convert your Java object to JSON you have seen. But have you seen how to convert JSON to the Java? That's also a question, right? Every one of you. Right now it is Java to JSON. Yep. Very simple application. I would like to take it. I would like to close here. Let me create a new application, which is, I would like to add it as JSON 2. Jackson API 2. Reverse of this we will see, and we shall move ahead with our discussion. I would like to go here and we have this, that's fine. We have this, but right now it is reverse. So this is not required. Okay. And this is also not required for now. I'm just creating the object mapper, first part. All right. After creating the object mapper, I'll go to my resources. Right now, nothing is there in my resources. I will go and create one file. I will say here, create one file. Normal file, my dear friends. I'll say normal file. Name of the file, I will just give it as sample.json. Within this JSON file, I will add some JSON data, a simple whatever JSON data. I would like to just go here and add it. I will add it. That means there is some JSON data present here. There is one file. Someone might pass this file directly here. We do have some file. That's the meaning of it, a JSON file. Now I would like to load this JSON file into my application, and I will convert whatever data is there in the form of JSON inside this file to my Java object. Okay. I would like to go back here and say mapper dot read value. Many ways are there. I would like to specify file source from where you have to read, and that JSON data should be converted to what type, what is a value type, that I would like to specify here. Right? How to load using the file class. I will say new. I'll say file. File is a class of Java input output concept, which is there in your course dashboard. And I just have to specify where this is present. Okay. I will say here it is present within sample.json. Sample.json file. Directly within the resources, I am creating this file. Okay. So sample.json file is where it is present. I would like to see if we can load it from here. If not, we may have to change the location also, that where it might be present. I would like to import it. Imports are done. It should be converted to what type of data? I will say it should be converted to alien type of data. Alien dot class. Okay. I have specified. It will give me the data which I would like to accept here. I will say here alien type of data. That's done. And I would like to just print system.out.println. I will say here alien. I would like to go and okay, done. I would like to save this. It's a reverse of this. I have just given the location, guys, that where it is present. The location sometimes might differ. So I would like to just check if it is not taking. I may have to maybe try to change. But right now, since it is a resources, by default, it should be in the position to take this. I would like to go back here, right click, run as the Java application. Oops. File not found exception. Is it able to identify where it is present, guys? All of you? Is it able to identify the location? No. Path issue. You can specify the full path name, or else I'll do one thing here. I'll go back. I'll create a folder. Name of the folder, I'll give it as JSON folder. Okay. I would like to take this. Right click. If not, I have to specify the full path. If not, I would like to just specify this way. Take this from here. Add it here. And I would like to just delete it from here. Okay. If not, I'll just say here. There's a folder called as JSON folder. Within this, we have this sample.json. I would like to just go back, right click, run as the Java application. The path issue, guys, this time. See, are you able to get it? Everyone? Yes, no, maybe. The most important part which I have to, what most important part I have to explain here is, I'll go back to my sample.json, guys. I will add one more field here. I will add one more field. I will say here country. And here I would like to say maybe India. Great. I would like to save this. Guys, we have a JSON format with 4 fields. I'll get back to my alien. How many fields do we have in our alien? How many fields do we have? Only 3. Now I have asked that please insert from this folder, please read this data and convert this to or bind that to alien class is what I have told here. There was no problem when the fields were matching. Right now I'll go here and run this application. If I have to run this application as a Java application, see, is it creating any issues, guys? How many things we have inside this? I would like to go back here. Maybe it should not feel that maybe it is reading from this file. To avoid that, now please see here, guys. I'll go back and add once again because the path was different. I would like to go and run this application once again. I would like to save this. And now I would like to run this application, run as the Java application. Guys, are you not getting the exception here? Unrecognized property exception. Yes, no, maybe. That means it is not able to recognize. Is it acceptable? No. For which we can go to our Pojo. We can add one annotation here. What is annotation? If you ask me, I'll say here JSON ignore properties. JSON ignore properties. JSON ignore properties. I will say here ignore every property which is unknown. I will say here ignore one attribute I would like to add here, unknown equals to, I will say here true. I would like to add this. Fine, ignore unknown, maybe the spelling is wrong. Ignore. There is one attribute which I have to add, guys. Yeah, it's correct. I would like to just save this. Right now, guys, I'm telling please ignore if any property is extra at the time of data binding. At the time of JSON to Java object data binding, ignore if there is some extra properties there. And I would like to go back here, right click, run as the Java application. It is not creating any problem after the annotation. So all of you in your classes who are present here with me today, have you all understood how to, as a Java developer, how to convert your Java object to JSON, JSON to the Java by using the Jackson API manually? The answer is yes, no, maybe. No issues, right? Now I would like to just take this, close this chapter, go back to my previous application. I would like to go back to my previous application, guys. I would like to open my model. In my model, how many properties do I have right now? I'll open the student controller. It is accepting a new student data by using the request body. Add is the endpoint, and I'm able to receive the data. In my student model, I have one question to everyone. Did I use any annotation, guys? Ignore JSON properties annotation. JSON ignore property annotation. Did I use it? No. In our normal Java application, when we have not used that annotation, if there were if there was mismatch in the JSON data in the properties POJO, did it create the problem? Didn't we get one exception there? We got the exception. I would like to go back here. Right click, run as Java application, Spring Boot application. It is deployed. The application is deployed successfully. I'll go back to my Postman tool. I'll go back to my Postman tool. In my Postman tool, I will go to add. This is the endpoint, guys. I'm adding the data. If I send the request, data is saved is what I got. Data is saved. And if I have to go back to my application, you can see we are receiving the data as it is. Right now, I'll go back to my Postman tool. I will add one extra property. I'll say here country, like the way we have added there. I'll say here country. And I'll say equals to, I will say India. Now, do we have any country there, guys? Country field there in my POJO, in my model class? I would like to take this. And I would like to just send the request. Data saved. And I came back here. Are you not getting this once again, my dear friends? Have you got any exception? Have you got any exception? Have you used any JSON ignore properties annotation here? So even though if there are mismatch in number of properties which you're receiving, which is not getting binded to the model which we have, is it automatically adjusting that? Yes, no. However, the property names cannot be mismatched. If you mismatch this, it will ignore. It will think that maybe the ID is only not present. And only these two will be added. This data only will not add. If you try to change the property name. Extra property I have added. Without using the JSON ignore properties, automatically it is able to bind the data for based on whatever properties, how much our properties are present here. And did we use any Jackson API in our controller, guys? Nothing. We just use one annotation called as request body. Apart from that, we have not done anything. Did we created the object mapper class? Did we use the predefined methods? No, nothing we have done. So behind the scene, it is only making use of the Jackson API and all the required things, required annotations, required predefined methods, required instances internally Spring is creating and Spring is internally managing. Hence we call Spring is a semi-developed application. Most of the things it is doing on behalf of us. Fine. Yeah. Order must be same. If not, just give a try once while you are practicing this application. That will be more helpful for you. All right, guys, every one of you present in the class. Done? Can we Now get back to again all the layers, guys. Layered approach development of our application for some theme, wherein we'll have all the layers of our application, DAO layer, service layer, and right now business. Now, since all of you know the fundamentals, once I complete this application with global exception handling also, I would request everyone to give the APIs, whatever code we have written from the main method, right, in our Spring Data API classes for the vaccine management applications, wherein we have done that using the main method, because that time we had not discussed the REST API part. Since after right now, whatever one or two applications are right, I want everyone to create APIs for that vaccine application. Okay, add that web layer, the REST API layer, and create the APIs. Now I'd like to go further in my application. Let me just open the browser, go here, refresh. It's a Java project, dear friends. Maven 3.3.5, the latest version. com.telescope, and artifact ID, I would like to give it as whatever is the project name. I'll say maybe tourist management, okay, API or application, whatever you call API. Okay, tourist management API, jar 21 var. So if you create, no problem. If you create the REST APIs, we need to add Spring Web to create the REST API. Done. Automatic redeployment, dev tool. Then since I want to add this thing data JPA, MySQL database I want to use, I would like to add MySQL driver. Apart from this, right now nothing else is required. I would like to generate my project. Let me generate the project here. The project is generated successfully. I would like to go back to my downloads. I would like to take that project from there. I'll get back to what is the workspace we're working on. Data is the workspace which we are working on currently. I'll go to the data workspace, and yeah, I would like to add it here. I'll right click and extract this project. I have extracted successfully. I would like to go back there and delete this project. Okay. Get back here. I will say here, import the existing Maven project. And I would like to go back here. How many of you know here custom exceptions and all the topic you are aware, right? Every one of you. If you don't aware of that, please watch the videos which are already there in your dashboard. We have covered that in the live class. The videos are also there. Kindly I request you to complete it. If by chance, if just in case, if you're unaware of it. Okay. The project is ready, my dear friends. I would like to go here. The first part is application.properties. I'll open here. Application name is fine. I will say here server dot port equals to 8484. Web configurations, we are done. If you want, you can add the, what do you say, context path. I will say here server dot servlet dot context path. I'll say here context path equals to, I will say here maybe whatever I would like to give here. This is the name I would like to give to my project name. Okay, that's fine. Saved it. And now I have to add the data source configuration, which I'll add from any of the previous applications. Application.properties. SQL queries, I don't want to see, guys. All of you know how to check the SQL queries. So I know you know that it is Hibernate which is creating the SQL queries for us. I would like to save this. Close this chapter. It is saved. Okay. And now that's done. Let me go back to the actual field. So we do have main method. We will not be using that. I'll go and create the multiple layers first of all. I will create a folder wherein I'll have my APIs, REST API folder. I'll go here and create a folder where I will have my model data, actual data on which I would like to work with. It is my entity also, it is my value object also, it is my DT also. One common model I would like to use for everything. Okay. New, I would like to create a package where I will write actual purpose of the application, which is the business application. I'll say right click, new, and I would like to say here a dot, maybe DAO layer, the repository layer. I would like to just right click. I'll say refresh. Go back to the model. That is the first part I have to take care. What type of data you want to work with. Okay, that's the meaning of it. I would like to go and create the model, which is my tourist. This is my value object. This is my, what do you say, model. This is my entity. If you want this to be your representative of database table, then we have to use one annotation here. Name of the annotation is, guys, entity. After which I would like to say here private, and I'll say here integer type of ID. And if you want this to be the primary key ID, if you want this to be auto generated, then we have to use generated value annotation. Generated value strategy equals to generation type auto. I'll say here strategy equals to generation type dot auto. Auto means any data type. Identity means MySQL. Sequence means Oracle and this thing. Auto means any type of relational database. That's the meaning of it. I have imported. Any issues, guys? All good? I will say here private. String type of name of a tourist. I will say private. String type of city of a tourist. I will say here private. String type of package type of a tourist. I will say here maybe private. Double type of pricing or budget or whatever you would like to give the name. Okay. Simple some normal parameters fields I have which I would like to work with. I'll say here setters and getters. Let it generate setters and getters both. I would like to have both constructors here. Let me generate one zero parameterized constructor. Let me generate one parameterized constructor. I would like to go back here. I will say generate using the fields. Just in case for the debugging, when I print the reference variable, I want the actual data to be printed for which toString method. I would like to add this. Saved. No issues. I'll go to the DAO layer, the repository layer, wherein I have to create one interface. I'll say here I tourist repository. Any issues to anyone, guys? Yes, no, maybe. All of you in the class? No issues. Generation type means automatically if you want to generate the ID, Pramod. If you don't want to manually set the ID, as and when the data gets added into your table, you want ID to be automatically generated. In the SQL also, we have an option here, auto increment. So whatever you have auto increment in your SQL, we have same thing here. Yeah. In SQL, we have auto increment, right? As and when you add new record, the new ID will be generated automatically. Here we have generation type. Is that fine? Yes, no? I will say here, go back here and would like to add the JPA repository. I will say here JPA repository. I will say finish. I'll say okay. And what is the type of data we are working on? Tourist. And my dear friends, here I would like to say here integer. Very often, you will see the long type of data being used here. If you open any of the project, you will see long type of data. Why long? The primary key, most often people go with long because the application, you all know that integer can hold only specific range, right? Can you surpass the range which integer can hold? In your core Java, you have understood. So long means it is the highest range, right? All of you. So maybe I may have that many tourists. Why? What is the issue? That is the reason it is long, but I would like to go with integer because I am pretty sure that how much ever elements which are going to add into my database, it is not going to surpass the integer range. So I would like to keep it as it is. In the DAO layer, anything else is required, guys? Anything else is required in the DAO layer? No, right? I would like to go back to my service part. I'll share right now whatever code I'm writing, since we have developed enough of applications which will give you enough clarity. End goal of this application is to how to properly handle the exceptions in such layered approach development. What is the syntax? Many things we have to understand, which I'll explain you in tomorrow's class. But today I would like to initiate the application. I will say here I tourist service. My interface is ready. I will specify what and all I need. Good to give repository, best practice, 100% yes, Chavan. In the interface also, you can specify the repository layer. Very good to give to avoid the confusions. Okay. I'll go back here and say string type of register tourist, wherein I would like to accept tourist type of data. Okay. This is the first operation I would like to perform. The second operation I would like to perform is I would like to fetch the tourist. I'll say tourist type of fetch tourist by ID. This is the second operation I would like to perform by passing the integer type of ID. The third operation which I want to give is fetch all the tourists. I will say here list of tourists. I'll say here fetch all tourist info. Okay. After which I'll go for the update, delete, and other operations. I would like to keep it. Let me import it. It's done. Now I would like to go back and create a class which implements my business logic, the purpose of my application, which is I'll say here tourist service. And it is implementing one interface. Name of the interface is iTourist, which I would like to add it. Finish. And could you please help me for the annotation which I may have to use here, dear friends? Need to do dependency injection here. Private I tourist repo type repository field injection or setter injection. I'll say here I tourist repo. I would like to import it, and setter injection is recommended, but for now I'll go with tourist. Anyway, dependency injection is also done. Any issues? All good? No problem, dear friends. I will say here repository dot save. I would like to save this entire tourist object, and the return type of the save method is it will give you a tourist object from the database after fetching it. That means ID, everything will be generated. So I'll say maybe T or tourist. Okay. I would like to create a new object here because whatever right now I'm creating, this is coming from the database. This method will save this. After saving, it will also fetch whatever is being saved and give it to you. I will say here tourist info registered with ID. I will say here tour dot get ID. All good, dear friends? Any issues? Very simple. Yes, no, maybe. I would like to go back here and write the remaining logics. I'll say repository dot, really sorry guys, excuse me for that. I'll say here repository dot. I will say here many methods are there which you can find it, guys. Repository dot get reference by ID also you can write. Get reference by ID also. You can also fetch, I'll say here reference by ID. Number one, it will give you tourist object. Okay. But what if there is an exception? You will not be in a position to differentiate if there is an exception. It will lead. What if whatever ID you are trying to fetch, that ID there is no data? To avoid that, I would like to go with find by ID method, not this approach. I will say dot find by ID. two options we have. I'll pass the ID. All of you know, if you go with this, it will give you optional. And through the optional, you can check whether you have a data or not. I will check here. If in case, optional dot, if it is present, whatever ID being passed, if the data is present inside the optional, the tourist object will be present. If it is present, then I will say here return optional dot get, because optional dot get method will give you the tourist object. Whatever tourist object it will give me, I would like to return that directly to the caller of this method. So directly I will say this. Else, I will throw one exception. I will say here, throw any exception. What exception? It is specific to my application. Do we have any predefined application which can handle tourist not found? Can we use arithmetic? Can we use null pointer? Can we use something else? No. I would like to create my own exception here. Are you all there with me? Yes, no, maybe. I will say here tourist not found exception. Tourist not found exception. And I would like to pass here one message. Very simple message. Tourist with given ID not found. But do we have any class, guys? Did we create any exception here? No. I would like to create this class. Within one package called as exception package. How to really handle the exception, we will understand. That is the end goal here. By implementing the AOP, how to handle the exception, we will see. That is our end goal here. Are you all there? Yep. But right now, I would like to just go back here. I will handle the exception however I feel like. There is a specific way to handle the exception. What is that way? We will see. I will say here string type of some message. And all of you, we have discussed this hierarchy, guys. I will say super equals to message. That means from this, whatever I am passing through the constructor here, whatever I'm going to pass through the constructor here, dear friends, I would like to import it. Okay, let me just save this. I would like to again say here. My dear friends, here, whatever I'm going to pass it in the constructor, that message will come here. From here, it is going to the parent. From here, it will go to which class, guys? Which class it will go to? If you know the hierarchy, if you could able to remember. All of you, are you all there? Have we discussed the concept of exception handling, dear friends? Yes, no, maybe something, please. One of your dear friends, don't act very blank. I think we have discussed that in the exception handling. Or do you want me to show the slides once again? It'll all of you know the concept of constructor at least. From here to exception, except get message is the method we have to invoke to display this message. All of you agree? In the throwable, we have a predefined method get message. We have understood this in our exception handling classes. If anyone has any issues, there are live class recordings of exception handling available in your course dashboard. Please do watch it to understand this theory. Okay, it is related to core Java. Okay, I'll go back here, guys, and I would like to specify. Fine. Now, the return type I have told here is the tourist is creating the problem. That how can you have this return type and you throw the exception? To avoid this, I can write the same code in the better way. What is the better way to write the code, guys? Please see here. I would like to comment this. And directly I will say here, please see, I will say here return repository dot find by ID. Find by ID. I'll pass the ID here. Whatever I'm receiving from the end user. I will say, please see dot or else throw. Are you seeing this? Or else throw. Within this, using the supplier predefined functional interface, I would like to return this exception. I would like to say here predefined supplier functional interface means using the lambda expression. I would like to take it, and this manually I would like to throw within this. I would like to take this from here, go back and throw as the implementation to avoid this. All right, let me go back here. I would like to just add this much part. I would like to copy this. I would like to go back here, lambdas and lambda body. I would like to throw like this. Fine. And I need not even throw, because by default else throw is there. The method name is else throw. It will throw the exception. Let me go back here, and I would like to just end this here. That this is a better way to write this code. I would like to say saved. Fine now. And here there is nothing to worry. Directly I'll say here repo dot find all, because I'm fetching all the records if they are present. So directly I'll throw the find all without any problem. This is very easy logic. Now guys, okay, let me go back again. Okay, it is again the question, guys. Lisco's substitution principle. We have discussed in the exception handling, I guess most probably. If a parent is throwing a exception, then child need not to throw an exception. If parent is throwing the unchecked exception, then child may throw or may not throw. If a parent is throwing the checked exception, child might throw might throw the unchecked exception, but must and should throw the checked exception. We have understood this in our exception handling class. If a parent and child in the inheritance concept, what is the case of inheritance? Exception. If a parent is not throwing any exception, child can throw unchecked exception or cannot throw any unchecked exception, but cannot throw a checked exception. If a parent class method, the overridden method in the parent class is throwing the unchecked exception, then child may not throw the exception, might throw unchecked exception, but cannot throw the checked exception. If a parent class is throwing a checked exception, then must and should child throw the checked exception. This Lisco substitution principles we had discussed in our Core Java classes. It's about that. What is that if you ask me? In the parent, in this interface, I had not specified this exception. That's the reason it is creating the issue. All of you? And since I'm using or else throw, no, it might not required also. Let me just check here. It is not required. Oh, it is again demanding me. So let me add it. No problem. I would like to go back and add this in my parent, and the problem most probably will not be there. I would like to just save this, go back to this parent, and I would like to add it here. The issue is gone from here also. Okay now? All right, guys. Now we have a service layer. We have repository, our entity class, custom exception, that I'm customizing the exception. If whoever passes the ID which is wrong, I'm throwing the exception to this. I'll go back and write my APIs. I'll go back here and create a class. Name of the class, I'll give it as tourist REST APIs. I'll go back within this. I may have to add one annotation. Name of the annotation, everyone knows by default it is REST controller. Can we create an API without using REST controller annotation, my dear friends? Can we create without REST controller annotation? Can we create an API, REST API? Yesterday we have discussed that. Which are the annotations we have to use? Controller plus response body. Fine, no? No issues, right? Very good. I'll go back and I have to auto wire one thing, guys. I'll say tourist service type service. I would like to auto wire this. I'll go back here. I'll say auto wired. And now I would like to just to say here, public. Can I directly, my dear friends, the return type can we pass based on the type of data which we are giving, guys? Example, I want to give string type of data to the end user, to my API caller, the one who's going to use this API. For them, string type of data. I will say your method name as register tourist is the method name. And all of you know very well. What should I write here, guys? I will say here tourist type of tourist. Now, could you please suggest me the annotation which I have to apply here? Name of the annotation, dear friends. To receive the data. Everyone, what to bind this post? What is the annotation we have to use to receive the data? Good answers. It is request body. Done. It should be binded to what type of request? What type of HTTP methods? It is post mapping. I will give the endpoint name is register tourist is the endpoint name. A very straightforward endpoint name. Or maybe I'll say here register tourist. Okay. After which I would like to go back here and say service layer dot. I would like to go register the tourist. I will add the tourist. Whatever string message it will give me, I would like to go back and return that to the caller. I have told you that I will discuss one topic about HTTP request and response. That time I will tell you. Though directly I can send this. But what is the recommended way, guys? Directly should I send the data response body directly, or should you wrap within the response entity? What is the recommended way? Should we directly send or wrap within the response entity? Response entity. I'll say here response entity. If I don't wrap it and if I send the data directly, any problem? Any major problem, guys? No, right? But recommended why? Because the response you have to send in the body, not directly. I will say here return new. I'll say new response entity. And I will say here a string type of data is what I'm going to send. Two things I have to send. One is the body. The body is the response. Response is the body. And I'll say HTTP status. There are multiple status, guys. Dot. Since we are creating a record, creating a resource, I will go with created. That means this method is there to receive a data and to create a new resource in my backend, in my server. So that is the reason I'm going with created. I'll talk about this soon after a global exception handling topic. I'll talk on this. Okay. I would like to save this. Done. Yep. Why new keyword? Can you please help me out here? Which new keyword? Why? We are creating the response entity object manually. You can invoke the predefined method also here by directly using there is a static method. This is a new object. Chavan, do you know Java, core Java? Do you know core Java? You want this to be created, huh? You want, hey, why are you creating? You are asking me to create like this, entity type response entity equals to. You want something like this. And if you want something like this, that means your Java and coding is very weak. You want something like this? Tell me, is this object or just a reference variable, guys? Is this object a reference variable? Actual object is this, right? I want to give it in the form of object. It's a coding, guys. Hey, yo. You can also go with something like directly dot created dot okay, but I would like to go with this. Yep. Yeah, dot body, you can say dot predefined static methods are there inside this class. You can invoke that also. I will develop such type of response entities also going forward. Fine now. All of you. We can use predefined methods which are present inside the response entity also. But directly right now, I'm not going there. It will be array index out of bonds for many. Creating simple object is only array index out of bonds. If I use the predefined static methods of response entity, then it will be a double array index out of bonds for most of you. So I'm not avoiding it. Okay. Can we go ahead, my dear friends, everyone? Yes, no, maybe. I would like to say here public. One more API, guys. Now I want to fetch the data, guys. I should be binding to what type of request first of all for fetching? Get. I will say here get tourist. Get tourist. And here I would like to accept ID. I would like to say here I would like to accept the ID. See here. I will say here get tourist. Get tourist. And here what type of data, my dear friends? Integer type of ID. Now, if this ID is matching, right now, is it a path parameter or query parameter, guys? Is it a path parameter or query parameter? Path parameter. If it's a path parameter, one annotation is compulsory to use. Could you please name the annotation name? Very fast, my dear friends. You have to drive the development right now. All of you, we have understood. I'm not using any concept which we have not discussed. What is the name of the annotation to receive path parameters? Request parameter is used for the query parameter. For the path parameter, it is path variable. All of you. And within this, I would like to just specify that this is the ID. I will say here ID. Okay, done. And of course, I may have to go with this. I will say here service dot. If I invoke this fetch tourist by ID, guys, if I invoke this method, is it, if the ID which you are passing is correct, it will throw the actual tourist object. Well and good. If the ID which you are passing is wrong, is it throwing the tourist object or is it throwing you the exception? Are you all there? Exception, right? I would like to invoke this. I'll pass the ID. It might throw the tourist. It might throw the exception. Suppose if it is throwing you the tourist object, well and good. You can just add, please see very carefully everyone, tourist object here. And you can see the tourist response. Tourist response. And of course, this time it is not created. It is okay. I'll say dot okay. You are able to fetch it. However, if you are invoking this method, ID you have passed is wrong. This method is throwing an exception. If this method is throwing you an exception, on your method you are getting an exception. If you are getting an exception on your method, which is the block which will catch the exception? I have to say here try. And we have to write something called as catch. Now one basic course of our question, guys. Will catch block be executed if exception is not there? Will there be any catch block if there is no exception, guys? Yes, no, maybe. I would like to take this and I will say response entity. This time what am I sending, guys? I would like to send the string type of this, or else our response body will be e.getMessage. E.getMessage means what? Everyone must know. I'll say a dot bad request. People are giving the bad request by passing the wrong ID. And here I will say wildcard, real use of wildcard, because sometimes it might send tourist, it might send string type of message also. I would like to save this. Are you all there? Look at the code. Any problem to anyone here? Please look at the code. Any ambiguity, silly doubt? Catch block will get executed only if this method is throwing you exception. Yes or no? This will be executed only if it is throwing you an exception. If it is not throwing an exception, actual data will be returned to the caller. Fine, no? Now, Right now I'm writing try catch within our API method, within our REST controller, within our API, in our web layer. If I write, no problem, it will work. But you should not be doing it. There is a way to handle the exception. Right now I'm handling the exception. It will be handled. Exceptions will be handled. But it is not recommended to handle the exception. However, you feel like, wherever you feel like you cannot handle the exception. In our Spring Boot backend application, you should not write try and catch within your service layer. You should not try and catch within your controller. There has to be a way to handle the exception. That way is only what we need to understand, that how to globally handle in our backend, no exceptions in our backend application. How to globally handle our exception, we will see. But right now, I would like to continue with this. Next application, I will show you how to globally handle the exception in our application by implementing Spring AOP concepts. Okay. Right now, I'd like to go with this. I'll say right click, or maybe let me have one more method also, dear friends, which will fetch everything. I would like to go back here. I would like to add this. I'll say get all tourist. I will say get all tourist. Okay. Get all tourist is the method name. I need not to pass anything. I'm not expecting it to pass anything. And I have to invoke one method, guys. Service dot. I will say fetch all tourist info. By chance, if it is throwing an exception, what to do? For which I would like to just to throw this. Maybe I'll say here one string type of message manually I'll add. Some problem in fetching. By chance, if something occurs, I'll not say bad request. The right message to say here is internal server error. Because right now it could be due to the internal problems. I would like to save this. Okay. The fetch all tourist. I would like to create one collection here. Collection of tourist objects. Collection of tourist object type. I'll say here tourist. Tourist equals to. And this tourist, I would like to add it within the response. Within the response. Okay. Everyone, are you all there? Yes, no, maybe. Here, I will not say this. I will say here it is list type of data, which should be the return type. I would like to import it. Done. Because collection. Here also I'm writing the exception I myself handling. This is not recommended. If there is a question that can you handle an exception within your API method, within your controller method, can you handle your exception? Can, if the question is, the answer is yes. Guys, are we able to write try and catch within our APIs, within our controller methods? So can we handle our exception within our API methods? Yes. But is it recommended? The whole purpose of this controller method is to receive the request, to give response, to receive HTTP request, based on the request to process, and after processing to give a response back. Handling the exceptions, writing the business logic, all of these things are possible. In the controller methods, you can handle the exception, you can write your business logic, you can do all these things. But is it recommended? If the question is, the answer is no, it is not recommended. Now I would like to go back. Okay. And of course, I have to refresh this to get in the proper format. Yep. I would like to deploy my application, guys. Let me deploy the application. If I have to deploy my application here, application is getting deployed automatically in the Emirate Tomcat server. I think application is successfully deployed. All of you can see 8484 is the port number. Tourist Management API. I'll go back to my Postman tool. I'll go back, guys. There is an option here to zoom. I've not logged in. That's the reason. Okay. Oh my my goodness. Now I have to do the sign up just because I have disturbed it. I would like to go back here. Okay. I'm just getting it proper, guys. Yep. Okay. Guys, at least now in the proper format, at least the size. Yep. All of you. I'll go back here. What is the first endpoint, guys? The first endpoint is register tourist. I'll go to the postman tool. Type of request is post. Post request it is. 8484 is the port number. 8484 is the port number. This is my context name, application context slash register. What is the endpoint, guys? We have not documented, so we don't know. We will see how to document these APIs. Okay. I would like to go back and add this is the endpoint and post request, right? You have to go to the body. In the body, JSON format, raw JSON format. ID I need not to give. Name. What is the field names? Field names must match. I would like to go and check if the field names are correct. What is the field names, guys? Name, city, package type, budget. Name, city, package type, and budget. Name, city, package type. I would like to add package type. Maybe I'll say here platinum. Platinum. And I would like to add one more property, which is budget. Budget. And I would like to add here maybe the budget is some amount. All good? Are you all able to see this? I would like to register, guys. I would like to register. If I have to click this tourist information register with the ID number 1, that means in the database it is able to register. It is connecting to database right now. Our entire application is getting connected to database also. I will say here maybe Rohit city. I'll give it. I'll go with the Mumbai and platinum. The price is same. I would like to again send this. ID is register. One more record is register. This time I would like to go with the Ramesh city. I would like to go with the Chennai. Some dummy data, guys. Chennai. And I would like to go back. Maybe the package type is a diamond package. And the pricing is this. I would like to go back and register. It is registered successfully. All of you are there. Now I want to retrieve the data. If you want to retrieve the data, I would like to take this, go back and open one more, get request. And what is the endpoint, guys? What is the endpoint? Let me go back to my controllers. In my controller, the endpoint is get tourist and we have to pass ID also. Compulsory one path parameter has to be passed. So it is get tourist. The path parameter is ID number 3 if I pass. See guys, ID number 3 if I pass. If I say hit the enter key, see we are getting the data. All of you. If I pass ID number 2, real case of path parameter I had told I will show you in the REST APIs. I'll also open the predefined APIs also. See here guys, are you all able to see here? Yes, no, maybe. Now I would like to pass ID number 4. Do we have a record with the ID number 4, guys? Do we have any record with the ID number 4? No, we don't have. If I hit this enter key, are you not getting the message which was there in the catch block? Which was there within the exception? Tourist with the ID not found. Yep. Now I would like to go back to the next endpoint. What is the next endpoint, guys? Get all tourist is the next endpoint. I'll go back to my postman tool and I will just add this is the endpoint and I will like to just register this. Are you getting all the records in the form of JSON? Yes, no, maybe. So for all the APIs which we have developed, are they able to work? The answer is yes, and it is the basic. Tomorrow's class, I will go with the update and delete. Update also, there are two HTTP methods. One is put, one is patch. Patch HTTP method is also used for the updating. Put HTTP method is also used for the updating. What is the difference? We will understand. Then delete mapping. After which, same application, how to write in a better way, how to implement separation of concerns AOP, and how to handle the exceptions globally in a RESTful services application with REST APIs, our backend Spring Boot application. How to handle exceptions properly, we will see in the tomorrow's class alongside the other few methods here, right? And then the next week, the remaining topics we shall understand. Next week, Monday to Friday are the most crucial classes of the entire RESTful services journey. Most probably, the entire RESTful services I'll complete in the next weekends, Monday to Friday's class, and associated concept, HATIOs, actuators, Spring Boot profiles, Swagger API, how to use Swagger UI in place of Postman tool. That also we have to see, and then we shall see whatever the remaining important concepts. Fine. So that's all for today. Part 2 of the same application we shall see, but I hope you got few more things about the REST APIs. Fundamentally, little more things about how to develop our applications. If you know Java, if you know Spring Core, and if you know Spring, Data's API alongside the fundamentals of Spring MVC. If you know all these modules, I'm pretty sure you have not faced any issues in understanding today's concept. At the end of the day, you have to practice, my dear friends. One more tourist application being built by our team. I'm not sure Naveen sir, did Naveen sir show about some tourist application in the class, guys? Did he talk or show about it? Any application? In the day before yesterday's class. Okay. Our backend team is developing one application with lot of features where multi-table is included there. Logging is implemented. Actuators implemented. Global exception handling is implemented. Right? AOP is implemented. Spring security is implemented. And it is rich in features. Our entire tourist management application, lot of code has been coded there with lot of good features that will be shared with you once it is ready. Most probably I will show you, and that entire code also will be given to you. But you have to develop a lot, guys. We have 1.5 hours of class. We have specific amount of time. How much ever we write the code, that may not be sufficient. As a developer, the more code you write, the better developer you are. And I want everyone to write the code, write the code, write the code. So write. So many free projects are also available in the internet, but we will give you many projects. But apart from that, you should also develop something which is beyond what is being given to you. Okay. With Log4j only. If you want, you can watch my Log4j videos in the Telesco YouTube channel, guys. It's available. Logging videos. What exactly? Right now, all of you can understand that. In this weekend, you can complete that. Okay. Logging videos are there, which is like what exactly this is. If you want to know, you have to understand loggers. Loggers with logging. Okay, with using the Log4j. SL4j and Log4j. I have recorded some videos long back. It is available in the Telesco YouTube channel also. If I'm sure. Okay, so do it. All right, guys, that's all for today. We shall continue. There is nothing in the board work. We have focused more on the development part. So these three applications I will share you, and stay back if you have. Arre baap re yaar. Today I'm going to Telesco office, Ganesh. I'm really sorry. Today I'm going to Telesco office. I will find it from our team. I have lost in my laptop, but it is there in the Telesco team. I will ask the team. They will give it to me tomorrow. 100% I'll give it to you. Okay. I'll zip this file and I will share with you guys. Allow me 5 minutes of time. Please come up with some ideas and requirement, right? Once we complete the basic next week, right? After next week of classes, guys, I want you to have something from your end. Let's do something which is unique, which is required for you to grow and for us, so that I can also, explore and explain to you, and we can discuss. Let's do something extra also, which is more than what is required. Okay. There's no board work today, guys. We have developed 3 applications. The part 2 of this application, tomorrow's class, followed by global exception handling. I'll be implementing in tomorrow's class. And then again, from Monday, continuation of the topics. I did not attend the Tuesday and Wednesday's class, and I was unwell. I went through recording and got to know that batches have been created for the group project. Wanted to know like which group we belong to, and see, we don't know whoever was present. For them, we have added their area. You can connect to the other peer learners through the community or through the, what we have, Discord group or dashboard community. You can ask if anyone can. You can join any of the batch wherever there is a requirement. You can join by just try to interact in the Telesco dashboard, and also try to interact with Discord. If not, there will be one more meeting for the same batch for the updates. That time you can join it. Okay. Anyone if has a requirement, seriously working on the project in a group, please add the Javeria also. Okay. In the dashboard community, there is no interaction, Suresh. Okay. If not, next week I will conduct one more class wherein I will dedicatedly for half an hour discuss on this. Okay. If someone want to join. Guys, complete the unit testing also. I hope all of you have gone through my JUnit videos. If you have not yet completed, I'll give you the course access once again. Kindly enroll, my dear friends, to this JUnit course free of cost. It's paid course on the Udemy. I'm giving for free. Watch it, get the Udemy certificate, and make sure that you complete within 1 week of time my Udemy course JUnit 5. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with me in today's class. We shall meet again tomorrow exactly 7 a.m. and continue the discussion on RESTful services. Okay. Thank you so much for being with me in today's class. Thank you, every one of you.